Hello and welcome everybody. We are here for another Broadcast.gg Scrim Nights. More on our Road to Open Division show matches. Me joined here today by two great casters. We have, of course, Labosco coming at us from Overwatch University League and joining us here for Broadcast.gg, as well as Manny or Sonny. So a new caster here to the Discord. Let's start out with Manny. How's it going, man?
It's going great, man. Like you said, I'm still new here, getting my feet wet over here in this community, but I'm still really enjoying what I'm doing, and I just hoping to learn every time I cast, get better at it.
That is the goal, of course, so happy to have you. But of course, Labosco, one of our seasoned veterans. How's it going, man?
Oh, it's going great. Getting back into the swing of things. Exciting to see some teams who are doing some great scrims for the open division, so got to be excited for that. It's going to be some good Overwatch.
And these teams, of course, these are no stranger to our stream, of course. We've seen Omen once or twice before, as well as Hydra Academy, so not like one of our regulars per se, but of course, always great games with these guys. So let's go ahead and actually just show the map, just a layout here. Again, we're doing the best of 5 series, so we'll be starting with Control, and then Escort, Assault, Hybrid, then finally Control in this best of 5 if we need to go there. We might play some extra games as it scrims, but we do also know a little bit about the team, so let's go ahead and get started. What do we know, guys, about Team Omen?
Well, for Team Omen, Mushu, we know that they've got a 3-3 record in the open division, as we were just talking about just a moment ago. So right in the middle of the pack for that, there's about 315, maybe a little bit more teams in the open division. Being in the middle of the pack's not a bad place to be. Still a lot of time still left in that as well. A couple more rounds to go. But they are a team that we expect to see them run a classic dive. They experiment a lot, though. So for some Overwatch League fans, that might make you think of a team like the Dallas Fuel, who likes to experiment quite a bit. It's funny because their preferential heroes don't exactly fit dive perfectly, so that explains why they like to try a lot of things. If they can, they like using triple tank or quadruple tank, even a Sombra they'll throw in there if they can as well. They haven't been together for very long, just since December. For about 2 weeks, the roster's been really kind of set in stone, but for the most part, a fairly new team that's finally just starting to try and gel as they go through the open division here. And, for a team trying to gel 3-3, not too bad of a start.
Great, yeah, and this is just a really interesting comp that we're seeing on the screen here. Again, the triple tank, like you talked about, and a little bit of dive as well, but the Halton hook is always going to be strong. So we'll see how this team does, despite the fact they haven't been around a lot with as a team together. But as we go to the other side, we're going to see Hydra Academy. Manny, what do we know about these people?
So Hydra Academy, they're in a similar boat where they're, a new team. They've only been together about 2 weeks. They're saying that their first tournament together is open division. They're sitting at 4-0-2 in the league right now. It's actually kind of interesting. They started off their first 2 weeks. They played Corn Hub and Fractal Esports, and they got 0-3. And then they turned it around, and they're currently on a 4-0. They're currently on a 4-game winning streak, with all of their games so far being 3-0 sweeps. So they're looking to keep that upward trend going into week 7 and just keep the momentum pushing forward. But getting into the players, they seem to they tend to run Death Ball comp. They say that's what their favorite composition to run. The Zarya, the Reinhardt, everyone all gathered together in small little bunches. We have, from their support, some of their favorites they like to run are Zenyatta, Moira. They're both, however, flexes, so they can, see them switch off to something else. Maybe the team can get some things mixed around. Maps they like to play on, King's Row, and they just like hybrid in general. Yeah, and I'm really excited to see what this team can do.
Exactly, and again, these the SRs of this team's both around 3.2, 3.4K.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes, we do, as you guys hear in the background, we're loading into the map. So we have our first map election. It will be Lijiang Tower, and it will be for our first Control map. So we'll be ready to go very shortly. But I guess as we're heading into this, guys, with Control maps, we have just 2 different kinds of lineups. Any predictions about how it's going to go, or players that we should be looking for?
I'll go ahead and go first. Well, when you look at the side of Omen, the one person they say is a total stud is Pew Pew Pew. Their Genji player. We'll see if he ends up supping in. but they have Cosmic, who's been doing a lot of work on McCree. He's the one subbing in for him, so when you sub out your stud for someone, usually they're pretty good as well. It's always fun to watch the Tracer players as well.
And I guess on the other side too, as we are starting to see the maps, the picks come in, Manny, what are you looking for?
For me, for the other side, I'm really looking just to see. My bad.
No, it's all good. But we'll be getting right into game, so go ahead, casters, take it away.
That's all right. Both teams coming out here first to start off, and the one thing to look out here is we have both of these comms here, Manny, with Reinhardt, so a little bit of a dive, but also with tanks that are made more for Deathball, as Cosmic coming in from behind right now to apply some early pressure as the fight goes on in front, getting slept here early on, and Fives getting Stars getting taken out first after reviving Fries, as the fight kind of back and forth here early on.
Yeah, both teams losing looked like it was going in favor of Hydra at first, but or it looked like it was going in favor of Omen at first, but Hydra just kind of ended up pulling it around. I think it was because there was one person who came in from the flank. The separation maybe just threw them off a little bit. They needed everyone kind of grouped up together for that fight. And now we already see ultimate charges coming out for the side of Hydra.
Already have two on the side of Hydra. Inject with the rip tire early on, the sleep getting on, and finally taken out is Terry. And the skills coming in as well now here for Omen as the hook by Wild Bull got the mercy, but didn't get the kill.
Got the whole hog getting popped, trying to push people off this point. The revives coming in. It looks like we're going to see Omen end up taking this back. We had Tracer on the backside of the fight, Cosmic, trying to flank around, cause some disturbance, but she ended up getting triangulated on. He just kind of closed the gap, smashed the hammer into her face. McCree got a beautiful grenade and defended the hammer to take her down.
The one thing to point out here is you have the support ult and stars, so the revives can come out, but a lot of on the side of Hydra. The big rip tire in use with Medaria's the Zarya ult to get the kills as the Graviton Surge gets the help here, and this should be right back into the favor of Hydra Academy.
Yeah, Star's going to be flying back with the rest of the team. He's up here with the Valkyrie pop, but he can't really do anything. His team losing 3 people in that fight, and now they're just getting pushed on real hard by the side of Hydra Academy. Reinhardt going down right here, Julie. They need to just kind of stop trying to fight this and back off, give up a point for a little bit, because after you lose 3 people to that fight, and then the Mercy has the Valkyrie pop, but she can't go back down to revive anybody, you've kind of just lost that fight already. You just need to accept it.
And Stars with a loss there as well, so have to wait for Stars, who's back, so now they can start pushing up for Omen. Terry swinging away with the hammer, just trying to get that shield damage done, as he has Wild Bill in front of him as well. Throws it in, the fire strike gets the big earth shatter that gets 3. His team not there to get any follow-up on it. They had fallen back to the point.
5 nice shot. And now you're going to get third again. Both Reinhardt's dodging out. They're having a little hammer fight. Meanwhile, on the point, we got the rest of the team. Meme jumping around. Zenyatta popping the ulti, trying to keep everybody alive through the Zarya, who's just trying to build up charge. Meme actually does have his ultimate up right here, so he's going to pop it. Pull the McCree and the Zenyatta in, who doesn't have the ball. And then the whole hog coming in, blasting people around. Can he blast off mid-read? As it looks like that's going to force the back off. We're going to see Omen take this point right back to themselves.
The kills that happened for Omen, the players that died, allowed for them to have the quicker respawns to get back, and they were able to eventually take that point. It looked like it could have been a fight, too, that Hydra Academy could have won. I mean, they had a big earth shatter, but they had too much of the team go back. So just a communication issue that ends up leading to that. And then you thought maybe for a second, because of the Zarya ult, that they'd have a chance to keep it. But not the case, as now they'll have to try and retake. Zarya ult used here as well. Charged in to get Wild Bill out, but then the counter ult.
Yeah, the beautiful Earth Shot right there is going to stop pretty much anything going forward. Julie and Cosmic already picking up some kills. 1, 2, 3, 4 people already down. This looks like this is going to be a real unfortunate turnaround for the side of Hydra Academy, backfiring right in their face right there.
Well, it was just a weird use of the Zarya ult. They got a lot of people in it, but they had really no way of following up on it. And Jeddick has switched on to the Tracer, and we'll see if that makes a difference.
Right
as out comes Meme.
They're going to throw it in the middle of the team. The Tracer Cosmic getting 2 people. Reinhardt falling right down. Agent Frodo down now, so they can't even get the revives. Mercurial being cut off from the rest of the team, trying to jump forward and just stall out, do his best. His head's going to hit the ground, and it looks like they might be able to just tick this out. Unless this overtime can do anything, it looks like the Valkyrie coming through just for the swagger points. They're going to get this first round.
Very good first round from Omen. They lose the initial fight, but then eventually get the point back and keep it the rest of the way to get that 1-0 lead here early on. And Manny, when you look at it, it was just a really good use, I think, of ultimates for one by Omen. They countered the ultimates of Hydra Academy really well.
Yeah, that one ulti we talked about, the Earth Shadow, right as the Zarya ulti came through. Zarya ulti was good. It was a good usage, good positioning, but I feel like it was a little too early. They didn't really have anyone there to help follow up with it. So as soon as they ended up falling back down to the ground, the Earth Shatter came through, and they were able to push forward and just take control of that fight and make it theirs.
Tony Stark on the Widow here for Hydra Academy, and you're seeing a little bit more of a traditional dive, although not quite, because Cosmic has decided to switch to the McCree, but a very interesting look here from either side.
Yeah, right here we have the Pharmacy coming through, and they're trying to battle people back on this bridge, try and gain some sort of air superiority. Terry gonna get taken real low, actually be knocked off by the Winston, although the DPSs are battling on the other side. Revive coming in for Cosmic. It looks like we're gonna see Omen being able to get this point as busted open again for themselves and get it. People are gonna start walking back. Winston jumping forward just to keep people astray, and it looks like they're gonna pick up this point as it opens up again.
Cosmic lost the initial fight. He ended up going down to the Soldier 76, but ended up coming right back and getting 3 kills there afterwards. So a good job by Omen to keep Hydra at bay, and then eventually Cosmic did the work he needed to on the McCree.
Definitely. And here we go. We see some people trying to cause some shenanigans in the mix. Entech just getting knocked down by Wild Bill. Here we see them trying to come around the left side maybe, but they don't have the full team here, so this is going to end up not working out too well. Fives popping off right here. Getting the shots down on people, forcing them back. Winston now getting in the mix. Tony Stark going down. Yeah, this looks like it's going to be another failed push from the side of Hydra Academy.
Cosmic throwing some shots and pops the Deadeye here. Doesn't quite get it in time to get the Diva, but he does get the Diva out of mech. And will finally get the kill. Gets another one onto Frodo afterwards. So Cosmic with a really good roll there to keep this for Omen, using his ult well.
Yeah, now we're going to see, we have started delayed. We have a little bit off on the respawn timing. People taking damage as they're trying to push through right here. The Diva Matrix trying to help a little bit. Now they're going to be trying to go around what's their right side. Terry pushing forward, holding strong with that shield. But 5 just getting people back in there. Mean picking somebody off on the backside, the 1-for-1 trade. And how's this fight? How do you think this fight's going to play out with all this huge ultimate advantage we see going for the side of Omen?
Well, Omen seems to be using their ults really well. Wild Bill with a double on the Diva Bomb as they continue to keep pushing back. Hydra, they're back at their own spawn pretty much, and it's already to 90%. And Terry gets taken out by the Deadeye as he was running back towards his spawn. He didn't turn around and put up his shield.
Back. And not ulti coming through right here with no one else really around him, and he's just going to they try to blast off the point with the projectile, and there's the environmental kill to end off the round for Omen.
Well, this
2-0.
Manny, the star of that one was Cosmic for sure on this McCree. He had some incredible kills, and he was just outputting a ton of damage for his team, at least on that second map. This a really good job here on the play of the game by Meme to follow up after the Earth Shatter for Omen, and that ended up giving them win.
55% average energy. That's what I like to see right there.
Yeah, that is quite the energy to have. I mean, that's your average energy. So more than likely, most of the time was probably above that as far as when the fights were happening. And that's something, though, too, that as Hydra, you can see we've been putting a little bit too much damage into those Zarya bubbles. And it was definitely making a difference because it seemed like almost every major team fight, Meme had the Zarya ult ready. You had the Graviton Surge there. But it started off looking like Hydra was going to be the team that we were going to say have the early edge, at least on map 1.
It seemed that way, but things always end up changing around a little bit. Unfortunately, when we get in the game, how the teams want to execute, what team comps they're running right there, and as we saw, Hydra Omen just ended up pushing out a little bit more. It was especially a lot closer on the first map or the first round, but then here on the second round, we just saw Omen taking over with their team composition.
Yeah, a lot of good synergy and really good use of their alts, I think, is one of the things too, Manny. I mean, Omen, you were talking about during the match towards the end for this map that there was they had, I think, 5 alts at the time,
Right.
and you were like, how does this benefit them, and how does Hydra get through this? Well, the big thing is when you have a lot of alts, you don't want to use every alt at the same time. You want to kind of stagger them and use them to get the kills you need, and if you can, hold on to alts. And they knew where they were as far as percentage, so they knew how to use their alts, and they decided to hold off and then use them at the right times.
Hey guys, I'm gonna jump in real quick. Okay, so there's some feedback. Labosco, your mic's really hot now that you're getting actual hype. So can you turn down your level on your side, right click on go into your sound settings, recording devices.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So if you right click on the sound, of course, as you know, recording settings, just check your level. What's the level at for that?
Good question. No, it went up. I've never had it at 100. I don't know why it went up.
Yeah, that'll happen. Okay, cool. So that's pretty good. So I'm gonna just do there.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot better.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say the silky smooth Labosco that I know so well.
I like that.
Very, very loud. Okay, cool. Sounds good. So I guess for just as other feedback as well for you guys, yeah, you're handing. I think the hybrid can work for you guys for sure. Manny, make sure that you're not talking over him. You definitely listen to what he's saying and then respond to it. Sometimes you'll start talking and then he's still talking too. It's like you're not listening to him at all, which is totally like it happens and it's normal for folks as they're starting out with their pairing. But make sure that, especially because you did a good job of like one time where you're like asking him like how do you think this is gonna play out? And then as the fight started, you just like started talking about the fight. So definitely make sure listening for the handoff from the other person, and then you can get going.
Okay.
So that's the main thing. Yeah, listen to what he's saying. Don't talk over.
I appreciate
the hype
that.
though, man. I like the hype.
Yeah, it's good. The energy's good for sure. Oh, cool, good stuff. So I'll let you guys get back to the analysis as we do have the next map pick going in already, gentlemen. Where are we going to next?
Believe it's Route 66. Yes, Route 66.
Very cool.
Old American Road right here.
Have you guys been to Route 66 before?
It's been a little bit since I've
Unfortunately not.
for me since I've been on Route 66. I feel like it's a map that just hasn't been played a whole lot lately.
I think your levels went back.
Did
you hit apply?
God.
Did you hit apply?
I did hit apply.
Okay.
I think why are they going? No, it still says that they're at 57 now.
Oh, okay. Okay, it might be fine then.
Okay, I don't know. I can lower it more if I need to.
That's okay. It should be fine. Can you give me a okay, big earth shatter into Death Blossom.
Oh, it's a big earth shatter and then the Reaper Death Blossom.
All right, that's fine.
Okay.
I like that. I like that. That's hyphy right there. Oh.
I like your ready thing, by the way. Okay, cool. I'll let you guys take it away as we're getting to the analysis. Maybe a quick question as we're getting into it. We saw Terry fall at the end of that. Hydra seemed to get picked off so much going into each of those fights. Couldn't really reset here. We will have Hydra on the attack first for now. What do they have to do to get going? Manny, let's go to you.
Hydra, I feel like if they want to get going, they're definitely going to have Terry's back as he's pushing forward. I noticed sometimes where with playing Reiner, he would charge into the team and he would get onto a good person and he would get in from a good angle, but there wouldn't just really be follow up. Maybe some sort of miscommunication about the timing to go in, or maybe he thought ultimates were up that weren't. So definitely communicating about when you want who you want to initiate on and when you want to initiate on is going to be a key thing here.
The other thing, too, that I saw, Mushu, is we saw memes sometimes who prefers Winston. Memes a very aggressive Winston. And there was actually a couple of times where Hydra Academy had the early pickoff, but they didn't push in hard when they had the 6-on-5 advantage. When you get that 6v5, you as a team have to be calling that out, and you've got to take advantage of it. just something that's more of a communication thing, knowing when to go. And when you see the Winston go down, that's when you've got to go hard.
Definitely. Just panning over the map right here. American Classic Route 66. Song says it winds from Chicago to LA. But as we can see right here, we go from a train station to some odd spaceship somewhere trapped in the back.
Well, I don't mind it going from Chicago. That's my hometown. Unfortunately, that's not where they're at on Route 66, but we can make this where it starts, the broken train. That can be the Chicago, at least, of this part of Route 66.
What are you going to do when Chicago gets their own Overwatch League team?
I'm going to go crazy is what's going to happen. And everybody in the Broadcast.gg Discord knows it, since really that's all I talk about in a salty way is how Chicago doesn't have one. So,
come on, man. LA totally needed 2 teams before Chicago got one. Come on.
Yeah, it figures. It figures. You know, forget about the Midwest. Who cares about the Midwest anyways? But looking at the comps we've got here, Manny, we're seeing Energetic on the Junkrat again, and we will see some Roadhog on either side. So some interesting comps, and both sides have an Orisa.
I've always found Junkrat kind of interesting. Mouth. Work.
It's all good. Junkrat or Roadhog, what were you saying was interesting? One of the Australians.
No, one of the Australians. Yeah, my bad. I thought I had the teams mixed up on who was on offense or defense, so I disregarded that point I was about to make.
An interesting matchup here. Tony Stark getting an early pick, but getting pulled in was Maritas, as he ended up, or Mid, I should say, got pulled in by the hook, and that should help at least stagnate the initial push here from Hydra.
Definitely right here. Going to be backing up, although Tony Stark is going to get a nice pick on the Mercy, which can really help them pop this off. Mercurial getting the courage to go for it on the meme. Wild Bill answering back. So this is actually a pretty interesting fight with the people that are going down. Tony Stark getting revived by Asian Frodo. But it looks like in the end, Hydra should be able to get here. Great discourse coming in from Zenyatta. Stopping people. Ooh, real nice pulling from Orisa. And this should pretty much help. This should help them solidify this final point as they push around.
That's always important communication between the Orisa and Roadhog to use that move to pull them in, and then of course to have the hook to pull them in even further. And Mid with another good kill there, and they will get this first point. So good start here, and just staggering right now as he went in as well.
Really unfortunate right there, the timing's right there, trying to stop the point, but not all on the same page, going in one at a time. Results in them now being in a situation where they're going to end up giving about half of this because there's 3 people trying to defend their own. Orisa, Julie getting pushed back all the way, finally going down. Zenyatta sitting here, have 2 ultimates up, but we do see an ultimate advantage for the side of Omen, so maybe they can look to use this if they want to force a fight. 4 ultimates coming up. Mercy ulti quickly on its way as well.
Well, they've actually been moving this payload a little bit slower as the Transcendence comes in. Nobody was on. Wild Bill using the whole hog here, quickly taken out after getting 1 kill. And another looking like it's going to go in favor again as Cosmic gets the headshot by Tony Stark and taken out.
And right here we got Mercurial trying to get in this nice little duel with Roadhog, trying to fight him back because he gets on top of the point, but there's not really too many people around him to help him take this guy down. So Mercurial's going to end up actually going down. Nice shot from Cosmic off on the side. And now this fight, we're starting to see the side of Hydra pull back as Omen ends up winning it in the end, finally getting this thing moving backwards.
The great equalizer is the 2 revives, and the Cookie getting those revives onto Cosmic and just keeping them in this fight makes all the difference. It's funny how it's a fight that looks like it's going to go so in favor of Hydra Academy, and yet at the end of the day, if you can use those res as well, you can swing it right back into your favor.
5 switching to the Moira now. Interesting. Did he just switch to that?
I believe so. 5's just recently switching to the Moira. So we'll see some convalescence here eventually. The only alt available right now on the side of Omen is the Orisa alt, as kind of the shield damage goes there, and then the pull in by Mid.
And right here, we're going to have Julie dropping the ulti right here, trying to power up this team. The whole Hog pushing everybody back so they can't get the benefit of this. Entitech getting that kick on the Catacookie. Whole Hog mowing Julie out of the sky. It looks like they're actually going to be able to pick this up around Hydra as they're just going for it. Cosmic with the double kill, though, quickly getting knocked down by Merc. They were keeping the payload moving on the backside, and it looks like we're going to end up seeing this getting cleaned up by the tide of the Hydra Academy.
Well, meme throwing out, and then the Convalescence coming in from 5s. The Orisa shield went down, but didn't seem to quite do enough, as Wild Bill will get 1 kill before getting taken out. But the kill's still coming on the side of Hydra Academy, as uncontested on the high ground is Tony Stark just dealing damage in, and his team following up. Cookie trying to use the 2 reses here in the Valkyrie to try and keep things in favor of Team Omen. But a good tire from Enjek is keeping this going, as it looks like it'll be another good push here eventually for Hydra Academy. 5's just stalling out. They've stalled out really well here so far, even though they're not winning these fights, Manny.
Yeah, big thing right here is burning off the time right here, because when they're going to get here, they're not going to have a lot of time. They're going to get left in an uncomfortable position, even with the time bonus, having to push around this last corner. Because as we all know, it takes a lot of time to get here through the whatever this thing is called, through the
through the garage.
Garage. I want to say junkyard. I couldn't remember what the word was in English.
Yeah, it will take quite a bit to get this payload through. They do have about 248 right now, as that time continues to tick down. And this is an area, since it's more compact, Moira becomes a little bit more valuable. We'll see how that difference can be made. Almost back to a Convalescence as well. Neither team with an ult just yet, as the Orisa battle goes in favor of Hydra Academy, as they'll use the Mercurial will use the Transcendence to keep his team up and moving this payload.
Yeah, they're just going to keep pushing forward right here. Really good fight for them. Just even not even really an ultimate heavy fight, just more so focusing on the right people as a team. And now as they're going to have the ultimates coming up, Orisa's going to drop this and hopefully get things popping. It's actually immediately going to get destroyed. Myra pushing forward with a Coalescence, trying to get everybody in every which direction, trying to get Mercurial as he goes around the corner, sitting oh so low. Gonna barely make it out by the hairs of his chinny chin. And now the spike can start to turn around for Hydra Academy. They're gonna get 2 people down, Julie and Orisa, Moira, going down right there. And it looks like they're gonna be able to start pushing forward if they can keep these people off the payload. They have the ulties, High New getting popped right there, listening out. Only able to get the kill on the Cosmic. That's still pretty big for him to get. Tony start getting another kill on the Catacookie. He might be able to push this all the way in.
And the kill onto the Mercy, one of the key kills, the Diva Bomb thrown in over the top, but able to get away from it was Hydra Academy, as they have just a little bit more distance to go. Cosmic comes in with the Dragon Blade, but it's too late, as the win will go. At least, or sorry, not the win, but 3 points taken by Hydra Academy, so they make use of the time they had.
So normally we end up seeing teams having to fight to the bloody end right there, even with 4.5 minutes. What do you feel made that seem almost so smooth and just so smooth and easy for the side of Hydra Academy right there?
Well, the one thing I think for sure for Hydra was that they used their ults pretty well there at the end. I thought maybe the Supercharger was used at a bad time, especially because there wasn't really a lot in front to protect the Orisa. So maybe that ult was the only bad one, but they just continue to push, and the kills on to Catacookie, taking out the Mercy there at the end, is always so important. When you're able to do that, you're really able to give yourself some opportunities, because you don't have to contest with the reses. And really, it's DPS players kind of going uncontested. Tony Stark did a lot of work on the Widowmaker, and then when he switched to McCree at the end, he wasn't stopped then as well.
Definitely, really showing, that's just overall good mechanics right there, being able to get the aim. He even though he only got the 1 kill, getting it onto the opposing DPS, the Genji at that, him not, reflecting it back or anything like we've seen on like some of the compilations, really just made it to where the other team just didn't have enough damage to push through, especially them not having the ult, especially with them being even in ult. You really need to keep up your DPSs in these fights. And them getting picked off by that, McCree bullet made it pretty easy for them to just follow it through, I think.
And the Zenyatta and Mercurial as well, I think, was one of the differences. A good Zenyatta who's able to get those Discord orbs and also get some kills for your team, especially at some critical moments, always helps as well.
Yeah, he really played a big part in helping them with the first point of theirs. Just great discourse as he started to push up onto the hill on the corner and just get people one by one, getting people with discourse. Really great job. But now we're going to see them coming around. Pharmacy coming out. They like to run this, I've noticed.
Yeah, Pharmacy is really good if you know how to opportunity here for Omen to do it, as they're getting some damage here early on, but Wild Bill gets popped out of the mech. So early advantage goes to the defending team up top, and Jeddick gets, Tony Stark gets taken out, but quickly rezzed right back.
And this fight,
oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say this fight here looks like it's just gonna end up falling apart. Like you said, the pop on a Wild Bill, and then Tony Stark picking up those kills, getting quickly revived and be able to just keep mowing people down. Ends up not working out for them. They aren't able to get it from far around this corner, and now they're gonna have a really hard time fighting to get this payload back because of the awkward location that's in.
Couple of ults getting close though. 5 very close to the rocket barrage, and that can turn a fight around very quickly, especially when there's not a lot that can stop it. Meme jumping in, immediately taken out, as getting a hook in and trying to get another kill onto Wild Bill, or at least getting him out of mech, was Tony Stark and the rest of the team. And this might cause enough for there to be a fall back. Cosmic just trying to deal damage as the Genji close to an ult. They're able to push this around. Out comes the rocket barrage from Fives, as Frodo will use the Valkyrie, get one res in, and then Cookie will quickly counter with the res of his own. Tony Stark using the visor to get maybe 2 kills here and try and keep things in favor, but not enough done, as this looks like it'll eventually, if they can clean up here, Omen will be able to push around the rest of the way.
Yeah, this fight right here got a lot of people on fire, but it's still pretty even. 3-on-3. Winston trying to jump around. Meme being the thing that started this long elongated fight out. Him getting picked off early. Something we talked about last game was that Meme was really aggressive and they weren't really capitalizing on killing him. They finally took it right there, and then they went for the fight. They did a pretty good job. The fact that they still, in the end, have the payload moving backwards, so this fight is a good win for them. But now, Agent Frodo going down, Cosmic with the double Dragon Blade on both the supports. I mean, this might end up being enough for them to finally push this through and get this first tick going. However,
even though he dies, Manny, he gets the 2 important kills, the supports, and quickly just dropping back is Hydra Academy. And I think probably a smart decision. Even though he died immediately after getting those 2 kills to Cosmic, he got the important kills.
Mm-hmm. Ends up working out all together in the end. Although now I will say I want to see how they play for the second point, because this took them a decent amount longer than it took Hydra Academy to get the first checkpoint. And now we're gonna have to see how they work around, because this is definitely gonna mess with their time for pushing into the garage if they can get there.
Diving in is Meme there, dropping out the Diva Bomb. Wild Bill will get one struck, and it's Frodo the Mercy. So an early support kill, as now his team looks to try and follow up. Dropping back, though, to try and stay alive is Hydra Academy. A good job to just kind of poke here as they try and wait for their Mercy back. Oh, Mid almost got a big kill with the pick onto Cosmic. Ends up pulling out his whole hog here, but quickly gets taken out, as getting the kills they need is Omen. Just have to take out the Orisa, and now they'll be able to push this along. That's a big fight for them to keep this going, and maybe, although Cookie using that Valkyrie ult might hurt them, Manny.
Yeah, it is a big thing for them to use it, but they still are going to be at the ulti event. Cosmic is on his way to getting another Genji ultimate. It's going to be really good. Baby Diva going to be able to get back inside really quick here. They can definitely get this tick mark right here. Mercurial going to be running in by himself, just kind of trying to buy time on the Lucio. Don't think it's going to work out. They should be able to get the second tick mark pretty easy. Genji popping the Cosmic Blade, going in, slicing and dicing. Meme going through the tunnel. They're just getting really back in there, trying to catch them before they can even get out to the point. And that's tick number 2.
And a big kill onto Frodo right after the Valkyrie was used. That'll make a big difference in this next fight as well. You basically just used a Valkyrie ult and got nothing out of it. Have to wait for that to back. And Cookie already almost back to another Valkyrie.
Yeah, indeed. And we have these guys up here, just the DPS in the tank right here, just getting all up in everybody's face. The payload's still getting pushed around by Wild Bill, him holding its hand as it makes its way. They're just trying to get this in right here with these 3 minutes. They might be able to do it with how well they made those last fights. The ultis are looking like they're going to be in their advantage too if they want to get something going in the next 15-20 seconds.
Yeah, they've pretty much been able to push this freely because of a couple of picks that they've had to stagger, and really Frodo just not able to stay alive on the Mercy. They've been prioritizing that, and that's made a big difference here. But now we'll have the all-important fight. They do have 3, almost 4 ults, but mid with the early pick here, but quickly using the res, but Tony Stark counters using the visor, and now the self-destruct thrown in the middle will at least clear out the barrier, but is it going to be enough? Picks coming in still on either side as the Winston Rage comes out here from Meme, just pushing players back, and it looks like they might have enough. And Omen pushing towards that. Tony Stark having to come off the high ground. Did get some important kills, but not enough of them, as Omen should push here and get this one if they can get these last couple kills, and they do. And they just beat the time by exactly 40 seconds.
Ooh, yeah, so if you saw what happened right there, Meme again just jumping in, being that aggressive gorilla that we all know and love. He ends up getting picked off. They have the 5v6 advantage. Hydra Academy tries to go for the fight, but however, Catacookie has his Mercy ultimate. Agent Frodo does not, as we mentioned just before the second point got taken. Catacookie was able to fly over, resurrect the Winston, and then resurrect somebody else, while Agent Frodo and his team did not have that advantage. They were essentially fighting an 8v6 right there, and it really just shows the importance of you having your Resurrect or your Mercy, really knowing when to use it. And you need to protect Mercy if she's in that Valkyrie state, so she can keep people up.
And like you said about getting the reses out, that was the most important, because quickly after the reses happened, Catacookie goes down. So Cookie down, but you still have enough players in the fight, and you've done enough damage prior to that you have a chance, and they're able to snowball it and get the win there.
Yeah, now we're going to see us going into overtime. Team Hydra going to be back on this aggressive. They're going to have 127, so they're going to have to pretty much get this, one and done for this push onto the first tick mark. You think they have the composition, or they think from what we saw the first time they'll be able to pull it off?
I think so. Their comp really worked well here on this first point, and really the second point, I felt that it was just that they kind of just stayed away from their own payload for a little too long. There's probably about 15 seconds where they didn't move the payload because they were pushed so far up. So as long as they have that communication and stick with the payload, they might be okay, especially if they can get an early pick onto Cosmic here, who gets taken out because of the Roadhog hook by mid.
Beautiful hook right there. Cosmic going down. His team's already going to be starting to play a little bit further around the sign. Mid getting all up in their faces, trying to get some more hooks to pull people in. Although they only have 60 seconds, this is already looking pretty good for them. Mid in the middle of the team getting pushed back. He might actually end up being the next hook. 5 going down thanks to Tony Stark. The team right here, Revive's coming in, but I feel like this fight already, due to that early pick on Cosmic, is heavily in the favor of Hydra Academy.
And Frodo still has the res here, so a good opportunity, but Cosmic back with a vengeance. 2 kills here, and that might stall the push here from the side of Hydra Academy as they continue to clean up. Really great job to just stay back and wait, and now just snowball it because your Tracer does the work needed.
My ultimate is ready. Let's do this.
Yeah, definitely right here. They're finally going to end up moving this payload back, so this, I don't even think they'll be able to make it in time, just period, to get bodies on the place. They're going to wait around the corner. Going to have D.Va right here getting her face up and down, trying to use the barrier or the D.Va matrix to try and stop people up. Rage and Frodo trying to keep them as healthy as possible. Now we're going to enter overtime. We're going to see how many long they can stay onto this. Meme jump in the middle of the team, already getting a kill into Agent Frodo. Another bad time for him to be able to going down. Meme with that kill right there might have just set it up. Five's getting a kill on the Tony Stark. 4v6. The Zenyatta ulti coming through to keep everybody healthy up. Wild Bill right here fighting with his life, trying to keep the payload, keep his body here, trying to keep his team going. One person's there, but it looks like in the end, Omen's just going to push people around and back, and they're going to stop them. And that's going to be this overtime round done with.
Cosmic coming in at the end to kill Terry too, but Cosmic got taken out so early. And it's like, you think that's your opportunity. 6-on-5, you just took out their DPS player. They had the ultimates, though, to deal with not having Cosmic, and they clean up well at the end there. So Omen now with a chance here to win their second map. I mean, when you look at it, though, Manny, what can you change there at the end? I don't know if there's much that you can.
Yeah, just kind of, I don't really think there is much you can change. It was just they ended up getting outplayed. Certainly some of, the picks they ended up getting for them, picks they had, ended up, not helping in their favor altogether. But now we're going to see Mid and his team on the defense picking a little bit different style of the team comp to hold up right here. Gonna have to see if they can just stop them. They don't have too far to go, and they have about 40. They have 40 seconds more to do it. You're gonna have to hold strong right here.
The questions I think you have to have here too is, well, it looked like for a second mid was going to go to the Torbjorn, but was just playing with our hearts. But they didn't do too bad here on the first point holding, so it's very conceivable to think that they could potentially force this map and win it. So going with pretty much what they went to win to get all 3 points though on the side of Omen.
You see him jumping out the gates right here. Fives and Catacookie seeing them paired up together, taken to the skies, trying to land some blows on this team as they hide behind this sign, trying to gather up. Cosmic getting all up in their faces, going to see if he can get these nice deflects like he did last time, get some people paying attention. I'm trying to throw it through the floor right here. Really interesting. Meme now jumping in on top of the house, actually getting immediately deleted thanks to mid. Now the hook pulls in the Mercy. Catacookie, not the best position for him to be in, quickly falling back. Wild Bill getting his diva pop, his big diva pop. He's in baby trying to build back up. 2 more people going down. 5 quick in this kill on the P Cherry, and this thing is still moving though.
Yeah, have to get onto the payload and stop it here. You are getting the kills that you need, and they take out Catacookie now. That might delay things. Just got to keep your Mercy up now as well, as Asian Frodo is very close to having that Valkyrie out. That could be the one that seals it. Tony Stark with 3 kills in a row, 2 kills, sorry, getting Wild Bill out of the Diva mech. So a good start here, but there's still a minute left, enough time. It's all about how you use the ult here, Manny.
It really is right here. We're going to see mid building up. Tony Stark on fire. Going to have that soldier bite. It's going to be huge, but at the same time, Fives has the Pharaoh Barrage. This is going to be key, especially in an area like this where the team fight is going to take off. This is a pretty... It's not like a humongous area, but it's definitely not a small area. But it's an area where his ulti can definitely make the difference. We're going to have to see whom he prioritizes on and when he decides to use it. Because he used it too early, he's just going to be a sitting duck and get mowed out.
Well, the barrier is gone, and now maybe coming up here is see it happen, but he just kills with rockets and getting some help from the rest of his team. Now decides to use it, misses the Mercy, but that's all that's left is the Mercy. So can they get the rest gone as they're just about there? Terry did get rezzed, but is it going to be enough?
I don't think so, man. I think Asian Frodo just kind of bobbing around, and they're going to get this into our lovely golden box, and it's just going to be murder she wrote as they clean this up. Fives, like you said, getting those key kills before he even having to use his ultimate. So then as the chaos ensues, after him getting those early picks, he can just chase people down with the Rocket Barrage, turning and weaving as they try and run. Play the game going to come in here for me. We're going to watch this from the second round.
Yeah, this is from earlier when he pops, or when he pops the Rage, and gets a couple of kills and really just disrupted everything that was happening. So a really good Primal Rage ended up helping there. But the one thing though, Fives, that the only one on his team to have a card, and it's because the amount of hero damage done, especially there at the end, only got 1 kill actually, finishing blow, but was part of the 3 eliminations that made the difference at the end, getting those rockets and didn't even use the ult yet, and then tried to use the ult to get the Mercy, but at that point it didn't really matter.
Yeah, indeed. Like that was just really great from the fair. It shows he's really proficient on the hero, knows when and where, who to focus, how the splash damage works, all that good stuff. Just shows the hours and commitment to his hero.
And that's a hero too in Pharah who really, if used correctly, and when there was just one player in Tony Stark who could really make a difference as far as putting damage onto the Pharah. So when you use that pharmacy comp and you only have one player kind of focusing on it, if that's where the damage ends up coming from, it'll really make a big difference.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate also that his Tackbiter wasn't able to get her down before the fight started. She was able to be proactive, and I think she's actually one that got the kill on him before he could Tack Visor.
Yeah, and that's the big thing too, is the visor not being able to get off, and that really came down to ultimate usage, and in the end it actually did because of the ults not getting used. Yeah. So sometimes you hold on to those ults a little too long and it can come back to bite you.
It's really a delicate balance because you don't want to just like use it too early and it's not in coordination with your team, but you don't want to wait oh so long to the point where you end up getting picked off. And then a scenario like this, it's not like you can run back and try and use it to save the point. You just end up losing a point, and you're the person with an ultimate still ready at the end of the round.
Yeah, and it's hard to know too because it's only a 2-minute fight or 2-minute amount of time. So and about only a minute had passed from the first fight to the fight that ends up determining the end for that last minute-ish. And so you don't know who's close to any ultimates on the side of Omen. There's really only one player who, when the fight started in fives, didn't have the ult yet, didn't have the rocket barrage, but then ended up getting it towards the end. So they actually probably could have been okay if that went off a little bit earlier when they got one of the early picks, but they ended up saving it because they weren't sure if there was anything to stop those ultimates. And that's what happens sometimes. You just guess wrong.
We're going to have to see how some adjustments come out. This is now 1-for-1 because Omen took the first map, correct?
Omen took both maps, right?
Omen took both maps? Okay.
Yes.
I thought it was going to be 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0 in favor of Omen so far.
Mm-hmm.
But for Hydra, it looks like maybe they're looking to sub or something.
Yeah, they're trying out some new players, I think, or they're doing some subs today to try out different arrangements. So we'll see who they come into. But yeah, let's take a quick break. A little out of character. How do you guys feel the cast is going? Let's start with Bosco.
Well, it's been a while for me. I think I'm starting to get back into things. I'm forgetting ultimates, which is always fun to do, and then you're sitting there stuttering and then you say something, and that's why I have a sheet in front of me in case my brain ever farts. But it helps to have it in front of you and not underneath another paper. So, but yeah, no, I think I think as it's going along, and for Manny, learning more, it's fun to work with somebody and see how they progress. The one thing I like is I think we both have good energy, and that's always something that helps.
Yeah, really. I was gonna say the same thing. Really helps when you're passionate about what you're doing. I know some people get. I know in my case, it's actually funny. I got dragged into casting by one of my buddies because he wanted to be a radio broadcasting major. But as I got more and more into it, I just really liked being able to tell a story the way I wanted to. And that's how I really feel like we did. Like as we cast this, we get to draw attention what we want to. Sometimes we will end up trying to talk at the same time because we both have points that we want to bring up before a fight or after a fight, but we end up working it out, and I think we're doing a really good job at finding this delicate balance between I do this part of the fight, you give analysis, and it's getting better as we go along.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure.
Cool. Yeah, I would say that the adjustments that were made after the first game, after the comments were really good, and I think one thing that you guys actually do a really good job of is the conversation back and forth. Now that I can definitely hear you guys actually responding to each other, which is it's like a weird thing to say. That's a good job, good job on that. Actually, honestly, good job on that, because it's so easy to just be watching the game, blocking out what the other person is saying, and then as soon as they're done talking, then you start talking. It's so easy to do that. So continue to listen and keep that up, because I think it's both in Manny especially, because I mentioned I know you're relatively new to Overwatch, but I think in terms of casting foundation that you have a very solid one. So yeah, and I can definitely tell, Lewasco, you have some you're shaking off the cobwebs a little bit, but it's not as bad as you make it sound. I think it's just about the fluency during a team fight itself. So yeah, definitely keep the energy up. Although also, by the way, it's coalescence and not covalescence.
Oh, coalescence. Did I say coalescence?
I think I said coalescence.
I think I heard Labosca. I think I heard you say with a V, covalescence. It's coalesce, like coalesce. Anyways, it could be just maybe if I'm hearing it wrong.
No, I totally might have.
Yeah, no worries. And what I would say is let's see here. Yeah, I think handoffs and content-wise, you guys are doing a really good job, pointing out the things to look for during the fights. And I would just say that if I had any recommendations, probably, see how deeply into the back and forth you guys can get, in terms of the yes and continuing the same thought process or pointing things out to each other. And then energy-wise, I would say you guys have a high baseline for sure, a medium-high baseline, if I were to say out of 10. probably cruising at a 5. Maybe dropping down to 4 every now and again. And then as it gets to in team fights, definitely getting up to like a 6.5 or 7. And then when the team fights happen or something crazy happens, you'll hit the 9 pretty easily. Yeah, maybe, and that might be also hand in hand with the conversational piece, like between the matches, dropping it back a little bit and thinking about the matchups of what to look for between. But other than that, I think it's just about you guys getting used to casting with each other. But I think you're gelling well already.
Thank you.
No, yeah, for sure. It's fun to get back into it, honestly, and just
we missed
look
you.
at things again.
Good to have you back.
I'm glad to be back. That's for sure, dude. That is for sure.
But yeah, cool. I mean, you guys can continue talking about any meta stuff, or you can update us on the map pick, Manny. You.
Yeah,
Let's
so
go.
Platonic ended up saying, Omen won that one, so the other team gets to pick Mercurial. They end up wanting to pick Temple of Anubis right here for a 2CP map. Looks like what we're going to go into right here. And this is going to be completely unrelated, but I looked it up after he corrected us on the pronunciation of the Moira ulti. And coalescence is a physics thing. It's the process by which 2 or more droplets, bubbles or particles, merge during contact from a single daughter droplet. So makes sense with how she's healing and damaging. I just found that interesting.
Yeah, coalesce is all about how really about these morphe forms. I mean, it's of course liquid, but coalescence is it's definitely a term I've heard in sci-fi things where it's like blobby stuff congeals. So that's kind of like the image it should come with it, I guess.
Does anyone we're gonna just keep delving further away from the actual game going topic, but does anyone remember Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah.
When they had the dual city tournament, Merrick had that 5-card combination that he said was indestructible until Yuki found the loophole to just make him overdraw and start milling. And one of the cards was that little blobby monster. I think that's actually what its name was.
Oh wow.
It was
okay.
coalescence. Yeah, it might have been.
Yeah.
It really might have been.
I remember that blue blobby thing that it was every time it got hit, it couldn't be killed or something.
I'm thinking of what is it called? What Flan? I think is the enemy in Final Fantasy. That's what I'm thinking of when I think of blobby stuff. When I hear, oh yeah, it's a blobby enemy.
I think a Chews from Legend of Zelda. The Choo-Choos.
Yes.
The green ones, the red ones. You have to gather their gel for different purposes. There's always the one that electrocutes you, that you have to learn about as you play a new Zelda, which color it is.
Yeah.
That's always fun. But let's talk about, the game that we all see in front of our eyes with 2 of them. Temple of Anubis 2CP Overwatch.
Yep, and of course we're going to see on the side of Hydra Academy a Widowmaker on defense, which is kind of standard, especially if you've been watching Overwatch League. Cosmic going to be on the Pharah here. We'll see how that ends up going. Very close to getting taken out by Tony Stark early on, but he finds stars instead, so a good start on the Widowmaker, and he had some good kills earlier, and another on the Cosmic.
Oh my goodness, we might have to call Widow the queen of the map right now, because another one bites the dust and she knocks down 2 people. And I was gonna say there's a real interesting point for them to hold out on. I haven't seen this often, but they're doing pretty good. It works out. Cherry putting down another barrier, and they're just gonna hold up right here and immediately get a strong pushback thanks to those 2 great picks. Question is Widow gonna be able to find those shots again, or is she gonna, is it gonna be more reliant on some, call outs, or is that just luck based?
Well, another kill on the Cosmic, and I'm starting to think that it's not luck, it's skill, as Tony Stark living up to his name and being flashy.
Definitely, Terry, now they're starting to pull back, spread a little bit more around from that little point they were initially at. We're going to have our boy Karen, actually one of the subs they had right here, coming above, healing. The hat coming in from Pharah. Going to mean Terry can't fortify down. They're actually going to use that to push forward. Platonic and the rest of the team, him leading the way, might be able to get in here. Picard getting Mercurial back on his feet, trying to see who he can hit with these discords this fight as they're holding down in the room with the health pack. It ends up it's going to end up not going in their favor, going to fall apart. Meme trying to just shoot people around, and this looks like they're going to have to pull back.
Yeah, they're starting to pull back, but this might be where they can have this push happen. If they do get everyone together, there's not many players there, but Tony Stark gets Cosmic. Snipes, who switched to Widow, well, that delays things a little bit.
Gosh, man. Holy cannoli. I want to make a meme poster with, French sniper instead of American sniper and put Tony Stark up here, because some of these shots pulling is disgusting with Widow. them trying to push around this right side up here, push up onto the top, building v building fight going on. Although they have 6 people, the other team has people on the ground in the sky. D.Va getting knocked down to Baby D.Va as she falls out the mech. And that pick might help. Tactical Visor getting popped right here. Who's he going to focus?
Well, looks like he's just trying to deal out some damage right now as Engetic, as there's a Orisa barrier in there, and it's kind of just delaying things, but this is an opportunity, it seems like, now for Omen. They can drop down. They've got high ground advantage for the most part if they go on, as Wild Bill and the rest of his team start to come down. Now they have the Zarya ult in by Meme, trying to get people with the Graviton Surge, but that causes the Zenyatta ult to be used. Tony Stark continuing to pick players off. Fives getting picked off on the Sombra, and Stark against Platonic going down, as this has been disastrous for Omen.
Yeah, they really are just having a hard time. Tony Stark up here really just doing his job, you know, getting the picks and then falling back a little bit till he sees somebody else he can prance on with that sniper rifle. And it's just leaving them in a position where they're always like going into these fights just as somebody kind of gets knocked down. And it really puts them at a disadvantage going into these fights, because they're kind of like at that point where it's like, well, if we pull back, we're just going to get absolutely wiped, so we have to continue going forward, but then they still end up losing the fight anyway. Hopefully they can get something going right here.
As they use the ult from the Orisa and the Supercharger, trying to get some extra damage. Stark getting a couple Cosmic, gets 2 with the Sticky Bomb, as maybe a chance here for Omen, but it won't be enough, as the rest of the team still doing the work needed, and Tony Stark still sitting uncontested. The one thing I wanted to point out, too, what you were talking about earlier, Manny, is Tony Stark, when they did try to use some ults to try and take care of the rest of his team, the Zenyatta ult came out, the Transcendence kept everybody up through Meme's Graviton Surge, and that made a difference, too. Time running out here.
Yeah, Meme, speaking of him with Graviton Surge, he's actually switched to Winston right now. Hopefully he can jump in. We all know how much we've seen him playing this monkey the first 2 maps. Gonna see how and where he decides to jump in as the clock's running down right here. N-Jet's on the backside trying to get people up here in the health pack. Wild Bill and Terry getting in a fight right here between the tanks. Mo trying to shoot back and forth. The Mercy's on top of them, the healers, the Moira right here. Finally having the Mercy jump up in the air. Orisa calling for the team up. And it looks like they're going to be able to push back just the damage fortification unless this D.Va barrier can get behind something. Doesn't even matter. Time runs out. And a great defense from the side of Omen, or excuse me, a great defense from the side of Hydra, led by Tony Stark, I would say.
Yeah, definitely Tony Stark, but also good decisions made by the rest of his team, I think, too, Manny. You can't say enough how really that Graviton Surge Meme threw in, got a couple of players, looked like something they could get some kills off of, but then you have the ultimate used by the Zenyatta on the other side, and doesn't really matter unless you have something that can cut through the healing done, and they didn't have that second ult to follow up on the Zarya ult. So
yeah,
there maybe was an opportunity, they just couldn't capitalize on it. So it's funny how ultimate usage really comes into play regardless, but of course, still got to get a ton of credit to Tony Stark.
Yeah, but just going off your Zenyatta point, that's just really good, like discipline and, mental fortitude, knowing that this guy's building up a Zarya ulti. He's going to use it because if he uses it, this is his way his team can get back into this hold. So I need to hold this at all costs. This is the priority, I need to use my ulti for. And then as soon as the Meme throws it in, he just pops the Tranquility, and it pretty much negates their their win condition or point condition, so to speak.
And I'm a little surprised that they didn't try a little bit harder to dislodge the Widowmaker and Tony Stark. I think that they really didn't have the right priority for targets at times. And that always makes a difference as well, because who's dealing the most damage and can we get to them? And you can still get to a Widowmaker here, and that's what you see a lot of teams do. Similar approach though here coming from the other side, just no Widowmaker here for Omen.
Yeah, instead they're going to be taking fives, getting damage boost up by stars. I've seen these two paired up with each other a lot. The damage boost, as they're going to try and get them as they come through. Terry and team, he's going to be the one leading the way through the charge. They're just going to run straight into the stairs and just go straight forward as soon as they can. Pulling people up into the air. They're already down at the point a lot quicker than the other team was. Fight popping off. Platonic getting the kill on the Terry. Tony Stark, again, back here on top of the archway, getting people down. He's up here. It looked like it's a 4v5 for them, but in reality, Tony Stark's making the unprecedented appearance, swooping in with these shots. Five's getting the kill on the Picard, and then another kill. Both supports down, and they look like they can get this early, this first fight for them.
Yeah, they're going to have to just decide to pull back here, and it looked like maybe with some good picks from Tony Stark, they'd have a chance, but it just wasn't enough, not the right picks. So give a lot of credit, of course, to the side of Omen. They hold on their first attempt, and they're getting very close to some important ultimates, especially that Riptire and the Diva Bomb.
It's definitely going to be big, but I think one thing we're going to have to point out is they're going to have to put together, an almost impeccable defense since there's only 1 point that the other team has to get in the next 2.5 minutes, and Terry getting this kill on the meme does help, although Cosmic gets a kill back on a Tony Stark, the man we've been talking about a lot tonight. We're going to see this fight goes. Terry again getting a support down, and then trading. Just people going back and forth after kills. Diva ulti not really getting anybody, just clearing them off the point. Now the 44 triple kill from Fives coming in is going to let them clean this up pretty easily, especially Cosmic reflecting that whole hog back in mid is going to be a great usage of those ultimates right there. Maximum target potential.
Well, Cosmic has been on a mission after getting shot multiple times by Tony Stark in the first round. He has been hunting him down on this Genji, using the Reflect to get close and getting the kills that his team needs. So you have a lot of that pressure taken off, and then Fives with the big ult to save everything makes a difference as well. I mean, that looked like maybe a good opportunity. That's good use of the Riptire here. They come in here early, having to use his ultimate early on. The Transcendence used by Splatonic to get back with his team, but it's a fight in an area favorable for his team. 2 kills by Wild Bill. Picard does use the Mercy ult, but it's not going to be enough as it's just continuing to go through for Hydra.
So that fight right there, I was watching the point of view of Cosmic that whole time. He was sitting on top of some sort of some little ceiling cover, and he let the team fight go in. It looked like they had a 5v5 going on. Cosmic ended up going for Tony Stark, actually pushed him back, made him back off from trying to get picks on people. Once he backed Tony Stark off, he came in from behind and got the Dragon Blade in such a small area. That was probably like a fantasy for him right there to get in such a small area from behind when it seems like they had forgotten about him, and he just got to pop off. And now we're seeing him again, slashing through the back line. The beat getting dropped right here for Lucio. Mercurial immediately going down to the Riptire from Fives. As we see 60 seconds remaining right here. What's it going to take for them to try and get this? Because they only have to get the first tick mark, but these ultimate timings and these pushes just don't seem to be working out for them. And they really need to get something, otherwise we're going to see a draw.
Well, the switch by Tony Stark was one thing I was going to say, and he does make the switch. Looked like he was going to do Soldier, decides to go with McCree. This could make a difference here. You can take out Cosmic, who's been very troublesome for you, hiding in the same spot as Cosmic. Tries to get onto Tony Stark. That's his priority. He gets hit with the flashbang, but he's able to escape away. As now the fight will happen here. Terry now switching to the Reinhardt as well, but Fives getting Tony Stark here to start off, and that'll put things early in favor as he gets another kill onto Ingenic, but Ingenic will get Wild Bill, who was out of mech.
They're definitely going to take that down, and now here we see Mid on top of the point, just keeping the time going. Going to have the overtime going most surely as he's on here, but then we have Cosmic slicing down into the air, getting a kill on the Mercurial, taking that support down, and then a kill on the Terry, the tank, doing some work. And here we go, Widow trying to watch from back. Tony Stark trying to get those picks but from the Arcway, but it can't help out right here. Draw coming through, and real great defense from both of the teams. I don't even feel both teams, I don't really feel had really offensive faults, just really stellar defense, and in very different ways for both of the teams as well, I want to say.
Yeah, I think really the big thing, and I think we're going to see the triple kill by Fives. This was maybe going to be the best opportunity here. It looks like things are going in favor of Omen, but nope. Triple kill with the tire, the Riptire, throws things back in favor for Hydra Academy. That was the difference, I feel, was that tire right there, because that's when things were swinging in favor the other way, and that's when things could have gone. But like you said, good defenses, Manny, from both sides. The other thing, too, Tony Stark not as effective on the Widowmaker on offense kind of hurt a little bit because, yeah, he was getting kills, but Cosmic went onto the Genji and ended up taking him out. So good job by Cosmic, good counter pick to what he saw.
Yeah, I think that just kind of comes down to the field of view and the angles that you get versus where most offensive widows position compared to defensive widows. Like there's a lot more places for when you're on defense to duck behind and buildings to duck into, considering the fact that the other team is coming to use and they have to come through that archway or try and push around the other way. So you're going to have to see them compared to the other side. When you're on the offense, the other team can pretty much they can play in a lot more defensive angles and just make it hard for him to get those picks onto the carries like he did the first time. And I feel like they learned from that and positioned people accordingly.
They did, and here's the thing too. So he was having trouble at the first fight. I think was where one of the big differences was too on the attack for Hydra Academy. On their first attack, they're going through, and they jump right onto the point, which I think is the correct move to do when you see the entire team up onto the high ground. Because what do they have to do? They've either got to try and pick you off from above, but they're going to give up a tick or two. So you force them off the high ground and fight on the point. But you didn't win that early fight. That was really the difference. Even though you got a couple picks from Tony Stark and he was kind of left alone in that first fight, they were able to stay enough away from him where it didn't matter. And that's, I think, where the difference was too.
Definitely. But here we're going to be going to the third point. Hydra, they're going to Hydra looks like they're going to have the pick right here. They're going to pick for a hybrid map. Maybe see Hollywood, one of my favorite places, getting bust out right here. We're going to have to see what they end up picking. What do you want to see for a hybrid map? What do you expect to see, like type of team comps based on what we've seen from these Guardians, or these Overwatchians? What type of things you expect to see?
Well, you asked, and it looks like you shall receive Hollywood. I just want to point out, I was thinking maybe because it was Hydra Academy with the pick, they would go Kings Row because that's what they put as their favorite map. But maybe you practice the maps that aren't your favorite, right? So if we're going to Hollywood, we could see similar picks to what we saw there, maybe at the start from both teams. You're probably going to see Junkrats again. Hollywood's a map that Junkrat can be effective on. It just depends. We'll see what they decide to do, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was similar picks to what we saw in Temple of Anubis, because maybe not quite as narrow, but there's certain areas that are narrow, that one choke that you have to try and get through. So, and especially with Junkrat, with how good he is right now, he's almost not a must pick, but he is a very important pick to have.
Yeah. Although Jeff has already said they're going to come through with that nice little bat, that hammer, and take Junkrat out back, give him a little bit of love taps, and hopefully bring him back in line, because Junkrat is really, a priority pick on these maps. We saw both teams pick him up. And even besides that, just I understand you always want to pick what's the best thing for your team, but Junkrat, English words just can't describe how I feel about that hero. Unless certain tongues.
Well, let's put it this way, too. Bat hit a couple times for Junkrat will do him good just based on his personality, because he's a little bit out there as a character anyways. So why not give him a good couple whacks and see what happens?
Definitely. So we were talking about this last in between while the teams, we're having a little break coming just to keep you guys updated. We had one of the teams calling for a little 2-minute pause. Maybe someone had to go use the bathroom. And for my page about coalescence, Googling what it looked up, it brought up the chemistry definition. There's also this trumpeter, American-born British race by the name of Andre Canier, who has an album that was released in 2013, 9 tracks. Shout out to this guy. Let's go check it out, guys. Give him some love.
And
he's gonna have
coalescence. This is the coalescence of the stream, huh?
Yeah.
Basically.
Nice. But we do know our next map. I don't know if you guys already did. We already talk about that?
Yeah, Hollywood.
Did get what you wanted. Look at you. You're like willing the lobby, even though we're on a 2-minute delay, just using your mental powers.
I know that.
Yeah, that mental telepathy is strong.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. I bet you one of these players is probably here in Central Texas. So my, mind beams just got out to them, influenced their decision.
It's like we're gonna see a mass movement of people from Texas to Los Angeles. Something told me to go to Hollywood. I don't know.
See, the only problem with that is a lot of people going from Central Texas to Los Angeles. That's probably one of the biggest culture shifts you can do
probably
in the United States. Like you go from this rootin' tootin', gunslinging, real cheap cost of living, going out to Cali, which is one of the more freelance states. You got your herb, you got your good herb, you got a lot higher cost of living. I feel like you gotta have a pretty good reason, you want good ping to the servers or something to move out.
Yeah.
There.
Do you want? Okay, if you had to make a choice, rootin' The rootin' tootin' life or high cost of living life?
Probably I've never been to like LA, so I can make that choice. Personally, I'm still biased. I still love my home city of Philly,
Oh, wow. Okay.
but Texas, it has grown on me. It has definitely grown on me.
Have you grown
People from
in Texas?
I've only lived here for a year and 3 days now. So
It's hard to pick against the place that has to put Crisco on their polls after a win for a football game.
Come
It's
on,
hard to
dude.
do.
come on, dude. Like, no, because okay, so the house that I live in back home, my mother is a Dallas Cowboys fan. Don't understand how that happens, considering my mother, ever since she immigrated to America, the only state place she's lived is Washington, D.C.
America's team. That's why.
Please get out of here, please.
I don't think so. I think the Bears are.
Her significant other's a Redskins fan, and my grandma is a Giants fan. And like every season is just run back and forth, that NFC East division rivalry. And like Eagles can do flawless. Traditionally, Eagles have been the best team in the NFC East since the thousands, but the only thing they ever bring up, Super Bowl rings. And I can't do anything. And this year is finally my time to be able to end that argument. And you can't expect us to just let this pass up. We're going to go nuts. Punching horses.
Know, Nick Foles going to get paid after this season. That's the only thing I know for sure about that Super Bowl. And I hate to pick against the Patriots. And in this one, not sure who I would want to pick against. They both really like this type of map. Manny, we're looking, we got a very early look, at least here early on, from the side of Hydra Academy. And, well, mid is playing with our hearts again and maybe going Torbjorn. How bad do you want to see it?
This is, if any of you want to look at my 90 hours, I'm pretty sure Torbjorn, I actually think I just spent my first 16 hours playing him until my friends told me to never pick him again. And then I really haven't played more than 5 or 10 minutes on him. But I spent my good first 30, 40 levels playing strictly Torbjorn because I just didn't understand team comps or that, attack Torb is not really the best thing if you want to climb. But I really like this hero. But mid, of course, only plays with us, and he's going to pick a Hanzo, it looks like, right here.
Yeah, well, I'm okay with the Hanzo pick, too. Hanzo is especially on this first point, can be a very good pick if that's what he decides to do. I just realized, too, that they were the attacking team, so I should have known that he was playing with my heart with the Torbjorn.
Come on, the attack, get it on top of one of these hover cars, like this green one right here. This angle is so legit, man. Come on.
Seeing pretty standard though from what we've seen. Fives on the Junkrat again. Cosmic playing on McCree. Wild Bill staying on his favorite pick in the Roadhog. As we'll see how this first attack goes here for Hydra Academy.
Yeah, my green hover car Torbjorn theory is not going to work because instead of opting onto the archway house, they're going to play a lot further back here onto the Duhan commissary, just trying to play it back on top. Meme doing his best, the hook not coming through for Wild. And it seems like both of these teams just kind of feeling each other out, blasting things out for these first 30 seconds. And how much feeling up you think is going to go, so to speak, is going to take place before we see something, pop off right here? It might be me or Perry actually getting hit right here. Now he's inside the fight, so we might have a fight going on.
Yeah, and Jeddick with the early pick, too, for Hydra Academy. That should get things started here as they make their way in to take some players out. Fives, though, finding some counter kills. Cosmic trying to use his flashbang. Doesn't get the kill onto the Mercy. And Pecarin, though, as you do have a couple players on, kills still getting traded, but the important kills look to be coming on the side of Hydra Academy. They might get this first one, as they do at least get their first point.
Yeah. Wild Bill and the rest of his team right here, good job, the hooks and all that, but it looks like due to the revives, he's actually going to get pushed back, and we're going to see it ticking down after them getting the first point. Really good job right there. Fives actually with the double kill. Didn't even talk about that. Midread is just sitting here, and it looks like he might just get this.
He at least gets the second tick, and his team, they do have, it's pretty even as far as the respawns do come, and quickly Pecarin using the Mercy ult to keep everybody alive and up here to try and take this final tick and start to move that payload. Fives, though, with a couple of kills, is switched off onto Farah now. Pecarin using the second res to get Mercurial up and keep things going. Julie coming in. You have Bozenyatis using the ult here as it's just ults flying left and right. Neither team with an ult right now as the Diva Bomb used, and Mid gets 2 off of it.
Mean getting the kills right there might end up working out. Mid Riders and then getting right back in it. Merkio getting the kill on the 5 right there. Good aiming from that Zenyatta. But again, this tick's just been going on for so long, and it looks like we're actually going to end up seeing the side of Omen battle it back due to just how long this fight has been going on. They're able to play around the respawn. The ultimate timers end up working in their favor. And Five's coming in back over here, flying his way in. They're only going to be able to get the second tick mark, 71.5%. And they have 1 minute and 20 left, and the closest ultimate is D.Va at 60%.
The important thing, though, is they only need 1 tick for the side of Hydra Academy. Even though you have those 3 ultimates, maybe you try and force something out. Maybe make this an eco push and then have your last push be the one that you try and take that final tick. But they get the early kill here on to Cosmic, so the Tracer gone. This is when you might see them start to go in. Tony Stark pulled in, but not able to go down. A lot of players really close, and Five's using the rocket barrage there, as there goes the quick clean up there. No ults used on the side because they still didn't get any yet for Hydra Academy, but there's your eco push, and you get all 3 outs on the side of Omen.
Yeah, I think that definitely we talk about that ulti, because now there's actually going to end up working out. We have the Winston and the D.Va ulti coming up. They're 2 tanks, and definitely if this fight goes on long enough, we can't see the Mercurial ulti coming around, so that eco push might end up working out these last 30 seconds. They definitely can't have anyone getting picked off if they want this to work out. So we're going to have to see. They're going to go around the backside. Terry waiting to jump in, looking for his opportunity. He's going to jump down and push somebody off the side. Getting that kill on the 5s might end up working out. It's huge for them. Now he's going to come back out after taking down that carcass. And he's going to pop the ult to get to smacking people around silly. We have Zenyatta already on the point. Platonic reviving 5s, trying to see if he can get the job done. Mercury with the 2 kills onto a DPS and to a tank. Zenyatta popping the ulti now, keeping everybody experience the tranquility, pretty much keeping everyone healthy. They're going to get this as overtime goes down. And that is a great, that's a great fight for them to push. That ego push you mentioned, ends up working out for them, yeah?
I think part of it was just maybe a little bit too much of a commitment to ultimates by the side of Omen. I don't think they needed to use all 3. I think they still would have won that fight if they used maybe 1 or 2. I think if you just used the rocket barrage, it was in a good spot. The rest getting used maybe hurts. But now it's definitely advantage onto the side of Hydra Academy, and Mid gets 5s again. So the D.Va doing work here, and Mid gets another kill onto the Mercy after the res happened, though. So Splatonic at least able to get 5s back up. See if that can make a difference and swing it back for Omen.
Mid looking like Poco out here with these ultis, man. Always finding somebody. He really got him right after he revived somebody. Kind of caught him with, his pants down around his ankles. Really unfortunate situation for him to be in. Although Meme dropping this ulti, trying to help everybody get the damage boost and things like that. The spike is quickly going to get destroyed, and now Mid's back amongst the ranks. Julie trying to keep everybody healed up. Mercy flying high above the sky onto the soldier, trying to damage from the hook, coming in right here, getting blasted by 5s with that barrage. Wild Bill now going around with the whole hog, or Bill, excuse me, is going to end up working out, pushing people back, and this payload is surely going to start moving backwards, and that's a pretty good fight for them.
Yeah, Julie had a really good ultimate, countered the ult by the soldier, kept everybody alive because Tony Stark was on soldier at that time, and now you're down to 60 seconds, and you've got the Mercy out here now from Tony Stark. See if that can maybe make a difference here. This is definitely a good Widow, yeah. But this is where it can make a difference, though. Well, it looked like for a second it was going to switch, but I guess not.
Yeah, no, I don't think, Tony Stark is going to bring the Battle Mercy out on us just quite yet. Maybe save that for when Desperate Times, Overwatch Division Finals. But now he's going to be on top of this little bridge silo trying to get an angle, and he's playing a really awkward spot because he has a really small line. I'm watching from his point of view from which he can try and shoot somebody, just trying to wait, but don't know if he'll be able to get anyone with this angle as they pull back. So he's going to have to play a little bit more aggressive. He wants to help his team out. That headshot right there on the Meme might end up helping out as he's trying to get people. Nice shot right there. Now his team's starting to push forward, push them into more open angles, so this can definitely help him play. Platonic getting the revive on the Meme, and now as we're going into overtime, this is going to be our final fight. They're going to have to get this payload moving. They're going to keep it moving. Oh!
That pick onto the Mercy, my gosh. That's a huge one there.
Mid right there, you're going to pop the ulti, just create more spacing for his team, quickly jumping back, trying to get the heal after the Discord Orb. Now Pickering getting up in the air, trying to keep everybody healthy, getting shot out by the attack fighter by 5, double kill onto 2 people, 3, 4. Oh my goodness, this is going to be a complete turnaround from the side of Omen. 5's going hard right there in the paint to finish that out.
I like the analogy of in the paint because that's pretty much what that was there in the crucial spot to get that really the stop for his team. And really what caused it was Tony Stark saw an opportunity to change positioning and tried to flank a little bit more. But because of that, didn't have the sight lines to maybe try and put a shot out on for the ultimate up from the soldier coming out. So because of that, the soldier gets to ult freely in Cosmic and just it's just a shooting gallery at that point.
Yeah. Now we're going to see the team swapping sides, only be able to get 1 tick mark, 98.78 meters. Our, golden box of love is going to be somewhere just around the corner past the Whiskey Jack Saloon, but right before the county jail. So hopefully no one gets held up and locked for contentment in this little corner as we saw before. Team swapping sides, and N-Tech taking a little bit, finally getting decide to lock in with the Junkrat.
Yeah, I don't want to see anybody go to county, that's for sure. But obviously, that's not the case for what Omen wants to have happen. They want to get to county because that's where, like you said, that golden box is. The one thing, though, for sure here, when you look at it at that last fight, once again, you had the important kill onto the Mercy who had just used the ultimate, and then he goes to move to get a better position. And it's unfortunate to think that, man, just changing positioning maybe is what cost them that one from maybe getting that second point. But they get a chance here on defense, and we've seen they're pretty good on defense. See if they can put up another stellar defense with Ingentic on the Junkrat again.
So I'm curious on your opinion. I always hear a lot of people told me when I was learning to play Overwatch that when you're playing like with a duo support like a Zenyatta, you always want to prioritize putting your orb onto the other support to keep them healthy. In a competition like this, like with Meme and all these people that can easily get the picks on the Pickering, do you feel that rule applies?
I mean, Mercy will eventually heal her. It doesn't hurt, but I think it's more to get it onto your damage. See, they've got the Bastion right now trying to maybe do something quick here as Tony Stark does get 5, so probably wouldn't have hurt too bad, but the pick's still coming in on the side of Hydra Academy and forcing things back, at least for the moment, from Omen. So it doesn't hurt, but, you'll see that orb fly around everywhere anyway.
Yeah. And there are that first push right there not working out for the side here. We had Mercurial just kind of sitting here really far back. No one really sees him or takes note of him or even can get to him. And he's just kind of sitting here doing the right click, throwing out the orbs and getting real good job pretty much all the time they're connecting and getting damage on the people. Although Meme does get that scatter shot onto Terry, which forces out the revive from Pickering. So now both supports using the revives on him.
Here's the big thing right now is you have tank mode for Cosmic and you have players in a very confined area. He tried to tank to get up there, but it failed. This might end up being a bad ult as a triple comes out from Ingetic from the Riptire. Oh, just disastrous on the side of Omen.
This is a disaster right there. Just the three fight going and then getting the people right afterwards. Just really the area right there. That's kind of unfortunate. That's one of those moments where it kind of comes down to like game knowledge or like situation awareness. Because yeah, the fight. I don't know if that was intentional, but putting the fight here is really good as your ultimates come up. Because even if the fight looks bad, you still do have these two, close quarters ultimates that can completely turn the fight around for you. If you take it as we saw right there. So maybe they need to try and avoid fighting around an area like this where they can get caught with, caught off guard with all these close quarters ultimates reigning supreme and maybe try and force them out into the open.
You still have a chance here, though. You have a couple of ults that can combine right now with Wild Bills as he does send out the Graviton Surge, but doesn't get anything for it. But then you have the follow-up afterwards to get a couple of kills from Meme and Julie using the Shatter Dragon Strike combo. So it looks like maybe they'll get it here. You do have Picarin trying to keep players up, but not going to be enough as they'll take the point here for sure as they have everybody on it.
Yeah, as you saw right there, we saw a situation where despite them, Wild Bill using his ultimate right there, we saw this actually happen in the first one where you use the Zarya ulti, but you don't really have too much to pair with, and the other team gets the real quick counter engage as soon as they go down. And then we saw the Shatter Strike combination coming through the house, clearing people out. Julie got a real good charge back on the N-Tech too, meaning he couldn't really be too effective in that fight. And they're able to pitch the point. And now they're going to be pushing right through, and they're going to have 3.5 minutes to get it over to that county jail. Gonna have to see how it works out for them.
Yeah, it's a lot of time, and this is actually a really hard one to get because of where the golden box is. You do eventually have a spawner's advantage here, though, if you are the defending team, so that could come into play, but it's all about winning these early fights here, and Wild Bill does get mid out of mech here early on, forces the Zenyatta ult early on, allowing for Terry to just come up, swing that hammer. Cosmic coming in from above to deliver some damage, but quickly taken out by Mercurial. Julie with another ult. That's another quick Earth Shatter, and that's a big kill to get Terry, and now you have that shield gone and just free to pick off players. And they're Engenic, though, with the tire.
Supports! That's pretty big right there for them, although they're still going to keep pushing forward despite losing their 2 supports. The Dragon Strike coming through again, just trying to clear the way, pave them out. And yeah, that was really unfortunate for Cosmic. He got above the team right there, but he wasn't able to get anybody with that. And then Soldier just quickly looking up to the sky. Tony Stark taking him out real quick with the headshots and all that good stuff. And now we're going to see, after all those people going down, we're going to see the side of Hydra pushing them back. And they're going to take it down to about 2 minutes. They're going to actually be at a slight ulti advantage with that shot coming in from me. The scatter shot on the N-Tech now allows them some pressure alleviated right there as they take control of the house. And pause?
Not sure what happened here, but pause just happened. Oh, somebody dropped on the side of... looks like we lost somebody. Somebody DC'd. Not sure who it was. Have to look here. Somebody on the side, though, of the team really on attack right now. And Omen is trying to see who it was who dropped out. Might have. I think it was it Julie? No, Julie's still there. Was it Cosmic, though?
Fives dropped out.
Fives, yes, that's who it was. I knew I was missing.
Pro tip, guys, do not mine Bitcoin while you're playing, Scrim's not a great idea. Get you trying to, turn that Bitcoin into $5 bills, but it's not going to work out for you. You're going to disconnect. But serious note, I think we should be able to see him get back into here. And as we're sitting here with them not too far from the county jail, just about 23 meters away from where the spot they need to get to, we leave with Memes getting that big pick on the N-Tech with that scatter shot. And that honestly kind of negates the ultimate advantage that his team has, because they're not going to want to pick a fight until he ends up respawning. Though, as you mentioned earlier, they do have that, they're starting to get to that area where they have the defender's advantage due to the respawn timers in the respawn location.
Yeah, you're almost to there. Maybe a little bit further, it'll be in an alright spot. The one thing that I do want to point out here, though, is that Meme used the Dragon Strike just a little bit before this fight, before getting taken out and eliminated. This could have been a really good opportunity to have the Dragon Strike, even though you don't have anything to pair up with it anymore. It still would have been really a good opportunity. Somebody's internet is dead, it looks like, perhaps. So this
just
could
like
be,
my friends.
So we could end up having to get a sub here in this situation, I would imagine. But just pointing that out, though, he does get a good pick here, or a good pick does mean. So it's just really a matter of, can you continue to snowball this? And it looks like they might be having a chance. Mid looks like that the Diva Mech is about to go. So this is already a good start to the fight for the side of Omen, but you have 3 ultimates in Tony Stark, Terry, and Pikarin who can swing things back the right way, especially if that res comes in here early.
Mm-hmm. Res really going to play a big part, because one thing that we've seen happening in these fights is both teams have had this issue where their supports are able to get picked off due to, Rip Tire sneaking their way through, or Reinhardt's charging and just getting that right, angle onto people. So Pickard having this ulti, being able to fly up high, negates a lot of the threats for him, besides Meme getting that, amazing shot. It negates a lot of threats and allows him to help out his friend on the ground, Mercurial, if he ends up getting, picked off for whatever reason. He can get him back, and with how close he is to ulti, if a fight's going on, Zenyatta should be able to get his ulti so he can give himself that invulnerability, or if he goes down just before it, he can quickly revive, and now he pops the ulti, can just extend the fight more and more for his team. So we're really going to have to see how they decide to pick about going about this.
Yeah, Cookie coming in here in place. So Cookie now the one who will replace Fives due to the sadly dead internet for him. and going quickly on in a Moira, as we will see here. That is kind of forcing things back. Mercurial with 2 kills, too.
Already popping it off now. We're going to see her flying up high. Splatonic using both revives to get these people up, trying to get the fight going for them. Earthshatter coming through. Reiner going to charge back. Actually not hit anybody. And we're just going to see how this fight devolves. Diva in the middle, and there doesn't look like there's too many places to hide. Then Yana getting blasted back away from the rest of his team. Pickering coming in with his revives now, and this fight's going on for a pretty decent time considering everybody's still staying pretty healthy. Catacookie building up a lot of things, and unfortunately he isn't able to have an ulti, but the big thing is the payload is still moving forward right here. Terry trying to put his face up in the middle of the team. Payload's still going. Farron gets the kills on the backside. Diva ulti not able to get anybody for the other team for the side of mid. Ooh, big kill from Cosmic before Diva can even get inside her suit, and they're going to get the golden box.
That was all Cosmic there at the end. The rocket barrage. Well, first the kill onto the soldier, then the rocket barrage to get 2 more players down, and then a punch to get that final kill, clear out the rest of the team, and allow for them to get to the golden box.
That's what I hear. Play the game going to be coming in. N-Tech, it was his ulti coming through as a response to the Junkrat ulti, flying through, getting the triple kill on Cosmic. It was kind of like as they tried to push forward with that bash note, they're like, guys, we got this going. It was like World War II or World War I, where the British first pushed forward with their tanks. And then they realized, wait a minute, guys, these things are slow and they run out of fuel. We need to pull back. And then here they come, catch them as they try to pull back. Great ulti right there.
Yeah, really good ulti, and getting the win is the important thing, though. For Omen, they now have won 3 of these 4 maps so far. And the other thing, too, Manny, when you look at it for the end there for Omen, I mean, Cosmic just getting uncontested. There's 2 hit scan players that could have dealt with him. Their focus was on what was in front and on the payload, and that can make the difference. And I was actually going to say, too, about the ultimate used by Cosmic. If he gets that shot up and boosts himself up onto where the team is in Omen, we might be talking about a different game here too, because that's a lot of time that they had on the clock when he uses that ult.
Mm-hmm.
All
right now, just kind of, yeah.
No, I don't want to cut it off real quick. But unfortunately, I do have to take off now. Actually, going to be getting ready for another broadcast this evening. But I think the teams are done as well.
Yeah, they seem to be.
Yeah.
So they ended up calling it a win here for Omen 3. I guess you could. I guess
a win, yeah.
It is a win, but I don't know if 3-1 win. If you call it
3-0.
Well, let's say 4-1. Let's say
4-1. I mean, yeah, exactly. I like 4-1 better.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and do that. 4-1. It will be 4-1 going to Team Omen. Congrats, good game, well played to that. Do you guys have any MVPs you want to point out?
You know what? There was a couple of players who were MVPs at different times. I think maybe in the end, you probably got to give it to Cosmic. I think Cosmic was one of the big differences. And Fives as well. Fives, even though the DC happens, I think was one of the big differences too. Those 2 DPS played really for Omen.
Team game right there, you know. Not everyone getting to switch around who we call the MVP. I think that really the fact that we can say there were multiple MVPs just show that these teams do play really well together, and I definitely want to see how they play out in the rest of, you know, their Overwatch Open Division games. Both teams, as we said, sitting on the upper echelon, and really this just shows they have a lot of room to go forward and grow as teammates, considering this is only with 2 weeks of playing together.
And here's the thing to consider too. Right now, Hydra Academy is above in Open Division Omen. So even though they have the worst record, Omen ends up getting a win here. It's a good confidence booster for you in the middle of the week before you got to go into your games that you've got to play in that week.
Great. Well, good stuff. All right, guys. I think, cool. I mean, good broadcast. Sounded really great. I think, yeah, man, you're definitely pretty solid so far. I think it's just a matter of getting used to the ability names and, but in terms of pacing, content, handoffs, for both of you guys, definitely seemed very comfortable.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it was fun to work with you, Manny. That's for sure, man. It was a ton of fun, dude.
I was a little, you know, if you could tell at first, I was a little nervous, but you really helped, you know, ease me into it, my confidence, you know, it's like it's like the second time is a lot better than the first time for a lot of people. Worked out great for me right there. I appreciate that.
It just continues to get better and better. I mean, the first time, if you can do the first time, every time after that just gets easier, and then it's just like, okay, I got to do this now. All right, fun, awesome.
Great. That's the whole point of why we host these, and looking to discover, give you guys a chance to practice, and a chance for, of course, myself to practice on the broadcast, experiment with different things. Whatever Pimp in the Crib has cooking on his broadcast packages, we're giving it a shot. So, but that will do it for us today. Congratulations again to Team Omen, and good luck to both teams as they continue in Open Division. I think we are now approaching week 4 this weekend. Saturday and Sunday games, fortunately, will not be broadcast, but we're working on that. But anyways, thanks again everyone for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed the games. This has been Musha Beef. That has been Labosco and Manny or Sunny, either one. And I'll see you guys next time.